Mate, there's a software you should buy as well as its subscription. You can get an iPad Pro with pen, will do the job. What are you talking about? My friend Tartubi? I'm not sure I follow. I have an iPad Pro with a pencil. That's what I'm using with Procreate. I wanted Sentinel versus Fnatic or Sentinels versus Vision Strikers to happen, but remove. You think there will be a roster changes for Sentinels and Envy? I don't really, guys. What I really dislike about community, like saying this stuff like, oh no, they lost the tournament, they should change something in the team, like kick this player, kick that player. Like no one knows that, apart from the team playing, right? The only people that can do that decision or make it fully willingly is the team and the organization. Like, I can tell you that from my perspective, Sentinels have everything when it comes to players to succeed. The only thing that they're not doing is, in my opinion, approaching the game just like other teams are, whereas actually practicing executes, having complicated like strategies, maybe not complicated, but effective strategies that they put in the strat book. And those teams are not relying that much nowadays on just random openings. They have some openings that give them opportunities, but they're not trying to just gamble. Or if they gamble, they have a backup plan. While with Sentinels, it seems like they just kind of play it like a very good fundamental team, but they rely so much on fundamentals, they don't have anything else. That's my perspective. We'll see. Maybe in this match, there'll be something that I will recognize more. But from my perspective, it's just that they're not putting enough effort in the actual playbook. So we'll see. Anyway, let's take a look at the lineups for Fracture. We have Breach, which is very important, of course, on this map. We have Viper. Honestly, I thought this will be a no Viper map when I was first reviewing Fracture, but it just seems she's good anyway. I mean, the wall is just so good on B. It's like crazy for both defense and, I mean, for offense. For defense, I would say it's actually better on A, but whatever. Then we have Jet and Jet. No Astras. No, wait, there's Delzik on Astra. And no Astra for Sentinels. And see, that's one of the issues like that I see. Why do they play Sky? It's like, she's a good character, but she's no Astra, you know? She's definitely not an Astra, and she doesn't give that much control like Astra does. Astra is just crazy, man. We have Killjoy, which I think is a good choice because you don't have always a breach. I mean, there's always a breach, but he might not always be alive, you know? And then Killjoy is just straight up better than Cypher, you know? Cypher just doesn't give you much. Like, the ultimate is just so weak, it's actually insane. I would always prefer to have Killjoy on this map than Cypher. But people do prefer to play Cypher to not be countered by Breach, but then essentially you forego the ultimate almost anyway. Sky gives a lot of information though. Yeah, but this information is very in a specific distance, and it has to be a follow-up. While with Astra, you have global presence, and you help the entire team so much, it's absolutely insane. Watching these reviews actually made me a better player in a few days when it comes to decision-making, confidence, and making entry. Very happy to hear that, my friend. So yeah, let's see. So we have KRU starting on attack. Pansy and Hyper casting. Pretty nice. And we have the defense wall on A that goes through. So it goes through the main entrance. This is the first purpose, or like the last purpose of it, to just block the entrance on the side. Then we have the orb is here, so it allows you to control the orb at the first tempo, and Breach and Viper can play together with a stun molly, and then spam through the wall, essentially. Like, that's what it gives. On attack, though, so I don't like this wall. I think on attack, this is a wall that is garbage in comparison to what the wall from Fnatic does. That I was describing, what was that, 2 days ago or something. Like, the wall that we have seen from Fnatic. Shit. Wait, it's snapping. Which is like this is just so much stronger than this one, because it allows you to go through arcade without being spotted from sight. It allows you to go from arcade to side without being spotted from tower, like this. And then you cover also the vision from side onto B long. It's actually crazy how much stuff it does. So this wall that we see here, I'm not a big fan of, and I think when you compare it to the other stuff that you can do with it, unless they have a very specific plan, that's fine. But this wall in comparison doesn't do that much. It just covers sight. That's it. It only does one thing. So yeah.
To be tested on this Sentinels roster. For me, it's the 6-man. It's raucous.
What do you think was the main factor of Sentinels losing? I mean, we're gonna see that today, right now, you know? So, Sentinels in the pistol round are taking aggressive stance on Dish, get the control with the flash. That's at least what they think that they're getting. We have seen Shazam use his fault line on the beginning of the round to control A. But that's about it. They play retake on B, but the player on B is playing in tower. So he's essentially, the team is essentially saying that Dapper is dead. Like, if they go to B, Dapper needs to buy as much time as possible, and he's most likely dead for the retake. That's how they approach this round. His job is to stand his ground and buy time and just not die as soon as possible. Right? But he's dead at some point because he's just playing on site and he has no way of falling back. Good morning, Kidoffer. While we have like a very, very awkward attack from KRU, because it's literally just holding default, holding default, holding default, and Jet Breach try to gain space on B. We'll see. This is really awkward. They are using the Tiger again. They saw the Cypher. They're gonna go aggressive on him, 100%. They feel confident.
A lot of people watching. KRU got a whole new set of fans as well. But 10's gonna kick
what
things off, at least with the first tag here, but he gets...
Yeah, but this is like... They only pushed with 10s? I don't get this. So they knew about the Cypher.
Got a whole new set of fans.
They knew about... Wait. They knew about Cypher.
There is an atmosphere to this game.
Sick is on Dish. He gets tagged by the...
New set of fans as well. But 10's gonna kick things off, at least with the first tag here, but he gets...
He should have just dashed away instantly. The moment he sees the breach, dash away. That's why you play Jet. If you're alone, like, you have to go back, right?
Actually, a fantastic setup here. Spike not really committed anywhere, so find that first blood on a little bit of I guess a proactive play out.
I mean, I can understand that they want to take some space, but they take space with just one player, and that one player, even if he plays with a backup card, he doesn't use it. So yeah. Good morning, Jesse. How are you doing?
Again, just come back to composition. They have so much swing here from this mid to late round transition in terms of running the double control.
And as you can see, KRU is just kind of waiting for those situations. Has to be miscommunication? No, I don't think this is miscommunication. This was actually communicated to what to do. Just hands, for some reason, just stood there fighting.
Klaus and Delzik will walk up here. Still 2 members of Sentinels though left to hold down, but Dapper's utility invested just to hold tower right now.
Well, we saw it being a key part of this map.
Okay, so this is the time management.
see as to why. Already going to be clear.
I don't like the bot placement and the nanoswarm placement. The bot doesn't activate because the player is being held by the nanoswarm, but he can destroy the nanobot while he's waiting for the nanoswarm, so it feels like a waste.
But at this point, they are down to about 25 seconds, so it will be a goer now. Dapper needs to hold.
Yeah, and as I said before, right? Dapper has just no way of living through this. So I don't like this positioning, like to play on B when you play retake on tower. This is very similar to what I said about King playing in Visual Strikers. You guys remember when I was doing that for review? I was just like, why do you even play in tower? Just play from spawn. Let them go on site, alright?
Still tagged up. Mazzino down to 61 HP. Nags on 16 HP. Shazam just comes out, finds one.
Nice awareness by Shazam.
As well, so brings us to a 3v3.
Just push the wall. Klaus is just fired up. This is weird as anything, but finally, since it's going to be Zoms coming in, proving a point, but down to the
Oh my god. Well, that was 5 versus 3. I mean,
touch on the spike. He wants this halfway, and he's going to sit for this one. Although Nags it, there it is, 6 with a shot and a half. And that's going to sit up against. Finally, just push the wall.
that was 5 versus 3. How is this being thrown, man?
You can see him just on those back lines by that canteen.
No, 4 versus 3.
But the spike goes down. We'll be in a retake scenario.
Spike planted.
A couple of moments still tagged up. Mazzino down to 61 HP. Nags on 16.
They're just not controlling anything. 2 players in this 4 versus 3 are not watching anything. Like Astra and Viper are not doing anything, and there's no one controlling peaks. That's the problem. The only player that is controlling like peaks is currently being dead. So that's the problem. Look at this. Delzik plays actually plays for contact. The same goes for Klaus. They play for someone's contact, but there's no one holding contact because the Cypher only holds one angle for himself, and no one holds his back. So in this case, the way that you should play, do we have a better angle here? Anyway, let me show it on the minimap. The way that you should play is that the Viper is just standing here and controls Canteen like this, while the Cypher holds this angle. And when someone swings from Canteen, Delzik swings as well for the Canteen, or the player from Tower swings if he doesn't hold Arcade anymore. Right now, this is a mess. Like, this guy is essentially playing 1v2 and or 1v3 even, essentially. While those guys play 2v3 and this guy plays, I don't know, Tetris on Nintendo Switch right now. So, I mean, he does his job, but he's detached from the entire team. So KRU just played like a different game than what Sentinels did. Sentinels play together here, while KRU just plays all solo players. You know, they're just not helping each other.
16 as Shazam just comes out, finds one for free there. Able to dip back out as well, so brings us to a 3v3.
Just push the wall. Klaus is just fired up. This is weird as anything.
So yeah,
For this one.
I watched again and again the Furia versus Sentinels Haven, Astra versus Astra, and Sova decision were alright. Absolutely, shame on me. I have absolutely no idea what we're talking about right now because, you know, we do so much content that I can't remember everything what I said. What I'm right about? I'm right about what, my friend? Viper's exposed to CT as well as then? No, she has a tight angle, and she just sees that if someone goes out of Canteen.
For sure, yeah. I mean, you look at the flip side of that, it was a clean shot as she burst in. You look at
Hello, Cash. Alright, so this is a force from KRU, and this is a great decision making. It's not a, you know, tough decision to make, but on professional level, if you plant as an attacker, you should always force. Like, there's just no question. You should always force and then play as a 5 and just donkey rush, you know?
Sentinels actually. The 2021 Dynasty and straight through it.
Oh my god, dude. What the hell? Tens is like, look at Tens position. This is where Tens stays. What? Like there's no dash. He has literally no angle to dash away. While Zomps is like, I'm just gonna chill in the corner. Because he thought that Tens will just dash away. It's crazy.
This pace coming out from Nags is incredible, but Zomps has just about slipped away for now. But he's
so that's another function for the wall that we found. You can actually be here, but this is a huge gamble in a situation like this. Zomps is trapped. If Zomps wants to be positive this round, he can go 1-for-1. He needs to go 2-for-1 because it's already 4v5. So if he goes for 1-for-1, it's 3v4. Still bad, very bad for the defenders, right? If he goes 2-for-1, it goes down to 3 versus 3, which is net positive because of this situation being bad. It goes to almost neutral, but still bad for the defenders. But if he goes 0-for-1, well, then it's terrible for Sentinels. So as you can see, there's only one positive outcome, which means that this position right here has, on the basis, 66% chance to fail, right? Specifically also because you don't really overshadow your opponent with equipment. The only thing that you have going for you is the surprise factor, but you need to kill 2, and he gets 1.
It will at least maintain composure, but now they know there's a purchase now coming out from both sides, and they're aware this is a little abnormal to what they'd expect.
But, you know, it was kind of trapped in the beginning. Maybe he had a chance to go away earlier, but I'm guessing he wanted Tens for him to bait for him after the dash away, but yeah. Like, I can imagine this working out great if Tens lives and dash away on site and buys time, and then Zomps just gets like a backstep or something. Damn, what the hell? How are they losing this? Okay. Okay. I mean, just get in, man. That's crazy. Like, again, they win when they shouldn't have won. Like, there's just no way that they should be winning this. I don't know what Cypher is doing, to be honest. They already killed 2 people on site, and Cypher just goes back to dish. He didn't buy a single trap. There's no flank protection, right? Because it's a force, so he didn't have cash. Jesus. I mean, this is good, well played by Sentinels. They just brute force them. But it was, yeah. But this is the correct decision when you're on a back foot, right? Sentinels are playing 3v4, right? They know that the opponents are on a force as well. What do? We catch them by surprise by being aggro. It's like the reversal when post-planned attackers have a deficit, and the post-planned attackers need to be aggressive to equalize and then go back. Me and a guy said Astra should have waited for Sova, but Sova was far away and Astra didn't know the other Astra was already on site. Oh, we're talking about that situation on the pistol round when the Sova was just like taking the longest time to rotate from A to C. That situation.
Mazino's down with Sentinels, keep 3 alive, and they deal with that buyback.
Just buying time sets this up. These defenses.
Only for
Same walls from Viper. Sentinels stack 3A, 2B, and
for a second, still willing to challenge.
And a 2. I don't know how to name those splits because it's like bottom down, bottom and up. I mean, sorry, up and down. So it's like 2-2-2. No, 2-1. Oh shit, my bad. It's like 2-1-2-0 split. I don't know. I don't know how to name it to be like logical. I think this would be the most logical. Or you start bottom, so you have 2-0-2-1 split. I would say. Thank you for the explanation. I'm here for that, my friend. Panzer gets Nagzet. Klaus gets Dapper.
Delzik just got Zoms, okay.
Another
round is very much not necessarily up in the air, but
what?
Just got Zoms, okay.
How do they get Dapper? Let me check on the minimap. He overpeaks on arcade and just gets tapped by a sheriff. The problem is that he's playing in a position like this is the same thing that I said about him pistol. He plays in a position that just kinda requires him to peak. And then he gets exploited because of that. This is no one's fault. He waits for the flash that goes around the corner and just doesn't expect a player here and just one taps.
Round is very much not necessarily up in the air, but it could get pretty sketchy at this point.
I think you start counting from spawn side. Yeah, but then you should start from the bottom, from the top, instead of going up, drawing. You draw from that, you start drawing from top to bottom, not the other way around. No way, that is just... Okay. So if this is the script, like Shazam and Co still win this.
Flash goes in, push comes out, clears. First contact found.
Okay, well, 19 HP.
Look at the HP is being worked back. Sick with a lovely pick, and now we're going down to the 2v2.
Don't peek now. Just don't peek. Just don't peek.
Somehow dismantle this, I do not know. These two are just these two are just going to play to the timing. And
imagine he gets a double kill through a lineup through a wall with a Guardian.
He knows it. Can he force the hand? Unfortunate, it looks like so far. Gonna maybe draw a little more blood, but I feel as though he knows it. Time to back away. KRU are fired up here today.
And ranked, those two people from tower would have been dead because they would overpeak. So, good round for KRU. Sentinels were just overpeaking. I'm not saying it's a bad decision making, it's just an outcome of positioning. Like Dapper kinda needs to have presence on that arcade, even though they play two players on B side, so it's like kinda okay, but not really, you know? Okay, what else do we have? It's again kinda like a default positioning. Easy, like one-way smoke being used by Astra might be a recall on A main. And he used a gravity well. So what he did here is he used gravity well for early control into a one-way. So it kind of scares people of playing in this position because it conditions people for the next rounds, you know? The traps are currently not useful. So this is a setup for like next stage of the round because they play default, but the traps are already like set up. So the Cypher doesn't lose time when they actually decide what to do. Camera is controlling dish, and those traps signify typically that you want to go into B side. But they're also okay if you rotate away to A because they are very deep. So they give early info, but they don't give you info if someone is actually pushing. But if you have those traps while you go on B, then you know when you're being flanked because this is a commitment from the opponents. Hello, Charlie.
Maybe expecting this play coming out, which so far
hello, Juju.
And again, just thinking back to what Six said in that video piece, wanting to slow things down here seems to be the...
So Sentinels have 3 players on B. Oh, gee.
One orb, and Dapper actually going to get the better of Klaus. Be able to heal back up and expect Sick to always be...
I'm not a fan of this approach from KRU, because this default hold is like a 50-50 gamble. There's no backup plan in case that one guy just kinda dies while holding the angle. And they lost the Viper right now. So, good luck, my friend. You just lost the most... Apart from Breach, you lost the most important part of doing an execute. So now you see, there's the backup plan with the Astra, right? You have the smokes from Astra to compensate for the loss of the Viper. Naxxet is on side. He went in with the Breach utility. And Dapper is dead in tower. This is such a hard position for players to play in. It's actually crazy that players commit so much to tower. They're in a glass trap there, you know?
Look at the spike.
How's your prediction for Liquid C9 today? Oof, 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 oof.
A lot of damage. Tens actually
Yeah,
What a
dude.
shot from
I don't
Tens, but he
know.
still needs a little more here. 3 on his side.
Liquid
2
versus
on his
C9.
side. And Mazzino, there's that bit of contact. Tens is still
Don't
standing.
crouch against the Guardian.
Side, Mazzino's found 2. Tens suddenly under the
Don't
gun.
crouch against the Guardian. Don't crouch against the Guardian.
Back. Can he draw him in? Can he try and pull Mazzino in? Can Mazzino
Wow.
slow his nerve? Tens on the cross. He gets it.
I wanted to say that's pretty good awareness from Mazzino that he actually doesn't even check that shit. But damn, the right click from Tens. How much HP did Mazzino have? 47. Okay, this is why he right clicked.
Draw him in. Can he
This
try
is
and
why
pull
he
Mazzino
right
in?
clicks.
Can
He's just like,
Mazzino
whatever,
hold
bro.
his nerve? Tens on the cross. He gets it.
And you know, this is the power of this is the power of Jets. Look, he doesn't peek like a normal person. You can't expect to have good crosser placement against a Jet, especially specifically also with the ultimate, because you don't give a fuck. You have the same exact speed and no recoil and no spread, right? When you jump, look, he's jumping. His head is somewhere up top, right? There's no crossover placement for this because it's random, right? And he just Ferrari peaks at the same time, so the bullet is not ready for him because it holds it for a normal person, right? And then Mazzino has to do a micro adjustment, but till he does that, if he doesn't hit the headshot that is not on the normal level, then he's dead. Like that's it. That's why Jets are so hard to play against when you have an ultimate, because you just cannot predict. Like, if you ever have a situation when you're in a 1v1 against a Jet and you know about it, right? You need to be holding a different crosser placement than against another player. Because if you know that she's peeking you with knives, then she's gonna be faster. So you have to, like, look. Let's say we're from the perspective of the Cypher, and the Jet is gonna peek from this corner. She's here, right, with the knives, right? She has knives here. Normal crosser placement for many players would be something like this. This would be your crosser, so the person peeking into you goes straight into the crosser. But if you want to hold against a Jet, then you're gonna hold, like, an example here for a wide peek, because she has a higher speed with no problem of recoil control, so she doesn't have to micro peek. She doesn't have to, like, peek normally and stop moving. She can just fucking Ferrari peek you and just do whatever you want. So yeah, remember about that. Prediction: Liquid versus C9 today. Probably Liquid, but I'm not a fan of how Sentinels or Liquid play the game. So
absolutely. I mean, Tens again. You talk about
yeah.
the defensive half here from Sentinels.
I'm a fan of teams like Fnatic, Vision Strikers, teams that actually seem to have, like, practice a lot of in the playbook. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not saying this is like, oh, the other teams are just so bad, they don't do anything complicated and don't have a playbook and so on. I'm just saying that the game is in such a new, it's like a newborn stage for the game, that not many teams have that yet built, and that's the only issue. It's gonna take time, but there are already teams that are working on that very hard, and I appreciate that a lot, because I think that's the way you should play the game, you know? Good morning, everyone. It's Chromatica. Okay, the lady who sings the blues. Hey, Chromatica. Damn, that's a long name. What about C9? So I'm not gonna lie, I can't really remember right now how exactly C9 plays. There's too many teams and I just don't remember it. I'm gonna most likely VOD analyze Liquid versus C9 anyway, so I'll have an opinion then. Alright. This time a small change of pace for KRU, but they play blow by, so whatever. Let's see if Sentinels overpeak. Naxat goes for the knives.
That's an investment of an ult, so keep an eye on that. But this is them hearts in it. There's no two ways to cut this. This is elimination. There's no more, well, we're going to look towards this game, that game. This is the end of the line.
Did Mazzino play this well? Not the case that would be a very position to play in this situation. I think he played this well. I don't think that he did any mistakes there. The only thing he could have done is like maybe peek from the tower after the first spike ping, but it's hard to make that decision specifically also against the 10s. So yeah, I don't mind it.
With Bala, actually, he's said that obviously Master 3 was a little bit blasé. A bit of pressure comes through towards A Hall here. Tens backs away from the door. Again, got Shazam on standby here towards ropes as well. Obviously, Zom's still committed to site. Zoms is in the server. I know we haven't seen him just yet, but KRU been focusing a lot on B site here. On that one round we did see in round 2.
Zoms has his ult. I don't think he's gonna use it unless they lose a player. Good timing on this. So this is like the game sense that pro players have and good players have. Like, he knows exactly how much time it takes for players to shift from this area to this area after that first contact. So yeah, he just knows when to activate the wall, because he can imagine the speed of the players to shift through.
That leveraging factor, but this purchase isn't as good to supplement, but we'll see. Timing becoming a factor now. 35 seconds. They have.
So that maneuver here. Essentially, flash into smoke from Jet is like a scare tactic. I kind of don't like it in this position because they know that there was someone there. So it's like kind of asking for trouble. I don't know. So and okay. So they get a kill by Tens on Dish. And Dapper uses the ult anyway. So I don't like this. Because... So I don't like this ult. Because Tens and Shazam and Dapper have like... They have to fight here because they're playing as 3 players right now. And if Dapper uses that ultimate, then Shazam and Tens can't really help Dapper. So if he gets just pushed, there's no way of like getting help. Zomps, sorry, not Dapper, Zomps. Yes, you're right, Kid Viper. So I'm not a fan of this. See, like, it's just that Zomps needs to kill everyone himself, right?
Nice work from Sentinels here. Nothing too much to write home about, apart from the fact that, honestly, keeping it this clean.
The day with the Prime Gaming stalls. Talking very quick up towards.
Not really any changes here.
The Sentinels need to throw out unnecessarily.
Now, the adjustment coming in will be that op for Nag, so let's see how this fares.
Operate and attack. I don't know what to think about this. Like, if you have a line of play like this, where you have a Jet with an operator and attack, and there's literally no other mobility, then this entire round is decided if this guy gets a peek before they lose a player. Like, the problem is, if you have an operator and attack, imagine someone dies. Let's imagine Breach dies. That's the worst case scenario. Now Nagzed, the only way of winning this round is to Nagzed hold angles and pray that someone peeks into him and he gets 2 kills or at least an equalizer, right? And because there's no one else that can substitute what he should be doing, or he should drop the gun and exchange it with someone else after they lose, like Breach, an example, right? But the same will happen if they lose any of those players. Then basically this operator loses so much value that it kind of makes your team like immobile, you know?
Dry as it stands, not really trying to give away too much.
Yeah, see, this is like you're banking on dry peaks with an operator. You miss, oh, he's dead. So it's like, and he's doing that while being alone. Dude, I really don't like this.
Yeah, that is gorgeous work from them. They can fall away from that.
Jeff will operate and attack is the most America thing, South America thing possible. I think it's just a universal thing. Unless the team exactly knows what they want. But this is like, this is what I don't like. This is the dirty Valorant that I'm not a fan of. You know? It's like, oh, you know what? We have no plan for this round. Let me buy an operator and attack. That's essentially how it is. And many teams play like this. Many teams rely on just dumb peaks and getting 50-50 fights or even 40-60 fights and just trying to get away with it. But this is not gonna like work against better and better opponents. This only works on lower level.
Just kind of utilized here, making it a very difficult approach for even a rifle, let alone an op. Soms playing under drum.
And now it's kind of funny because after they lose Naxet, right, with the operator on attack, after they lose Naxet, they kind of have to do even more dump peaks. This is why you see Mazino just dry peaks Dish just to get a drop. Because now they're on a back foot, they play 4v5 on attack, and they need to get an equalizer because right now, 4v5 on attack is not an issue if they equalize it to 4v4. Because the map stays the same, but there's less defenders equals to the same amount of attackers. That means that this map is actually now better for the attackers. They have an advantage. If it's 4v4, attackers have advantage. If it's 4v5, defenders have advantage. So they only need one kill before they do an attack. But to do that one kill, they have to just kind of like, again, trying to get dump peaks into like duels. Because doing an execute now will not work. Doing an execute is just a big gamble. If they push like with 4 players on a site, they go against a full defender setup, right? Which makes them less successful to less probable to succeed. And even if the opponents will let them go on site and plant, they can just retake as 5 players against 4, so they have huge advantage. So, like, you need to go for those dumb 50-50 fights now because you're at a disadvantage. And they do, and they try to go for a full execute with 4 players without the jet, right? They catch Sick, which is basically, this is a very good strategy, by the way, here. Look, aftershock on the bottom, I'm not certain if it hits the guy on the top. I don't think so. Stun on the bottom, on the top and bottom at the same time. And Sick is replying with a flash of his own to not get killed. This is the counterplay. So essentially, attackers util, clearing like behind the pillar on site, stunning both side and top, right? And then the answer from the defender is to flash himself and anyone else that comes into it, so he buys time and maybe doesn't die first tempo. Delzik gets Zombs that was hiding on site and was pushed out with the aftershock, right? Dapper is still in tower. Shazam has ult. So Shazam should probably just ult site right now to help Sick. But he keeps it. It's a little bit too late.
That opens things up. Mazino, the second layer. Sight now could be ready for the taking. Shazam tries to deny, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Jump scaring Klaus.
2v2. So this is way more successful than anticipated. It was actually well played by KRU because of the way that they use the utility. It nets them 2 free kills. So this is actually pretty nice. The way they use the utility allowed them to push out the defenders into their site. So essentially, Sick and Zombs were rendered useless, almost useless. Hello, LJ.
An awful lot of utility to work with either.
2 kills already for Tens. Looking like a man on a mission this game. He sees a pick.
No, he knows the position of both players right now. Right? They know the position of both players. Or was that Dapper shooting? Shit. I think that was Dapper shooting. Never mind, they don't know it. Well played Crossfire by the KRU players. So essentially, the Breach player waits for contact of the Astra player. Or the other way around. That depends on which angle they hold. But it's a good Crossfire. It's so hard to do anything about this. So the only way of doing anything about this, right? Let me show you too. There's only one way of approaching this. Oh, actually, they're doing it. Look. But the thing is... Wait, did he have the dash? No, he has no dash. But this is the way you should approach this. This is a very good fundamental level of play by Sentinels. They know that this is most likely a Crossfire setup by Delzik and Kaznit from side, right? And you see where the side angle starts. This is the side angle. Like, if you don't know where exactly the wall is, right? Then it's here. This is the angle that your opponent will have. This is actually like a visual cue for you. So, Dapper gets the wide angle. He wants to stand in here before Tens has the contact with this player. So he holds his back. And hopefully, Tens wins this duel. And then there's a wide swing from Breach. And Dapper gets the drop on Breach because he has the better angle. That's like the best possible scenario right now. But Tens has the contact too fast, Dapper is not ready, and Tens loses the gunfight, and then Dapper just doesn't get anything out of it. But in general, how they approach this is pretty good. The only thing that could have been done better was to put the turret more here in this position and not here, because here this turret doesn't really help. The angles are too deep, they are meaningless. But that's about it. But it's hard to set up the turret from the dish there, so you kind of have to do it from already drop on site, and then you're exposed. So, yeah.
Dismantle it. Not like that. Delzik finds one. Kesnet holds. The crossfire is maintaining KRU. Beautiful post plant.
I finished high school in 2000, I think? Or 2001? I can't remember. I was born in 95. Is the only series you're gonna do VOD review? Do you expect the SEA teams to pop off this tournament? Champions being crazy? I mean, no one expected that, my friend. But I don't know. We'll see how much time we'll do. Will those VOD reviews take? So if we'll fit more maps, we're gonna fit more maps.
Fantastic opportunity to hold that pretty much flawlessly.
Speaking of the ops presence, Ten's now going to be looking towards.
Okay. So that flash just kind of stops the aggression. Didn't really do that much. They still kind of go forward and try to get the arcade. There's a... So flash for flash. Breach flashes this wall to kind of regain control of arcade. And they peek into it. Dapper is playing in the tower. Now they smoke it off, which gives them space. They can get the orb, which makes Kaznit on 6 out of 7. I'm guessing now they're gonna go towards the other side to get the other orb, so that they have an ultimate from the breach, right? Or actually, this is better because they have control of this. So this orb is easier to take. You're not exposed to anything.
Towards ropes if there is any contact in A-hall, but again, it relies on Dapper and Sick buying so much time. We don't know, obviously, Tens has played over.
Which is the best non-duelist agent on Fracture? Oh wait, they're not going for it. Did Mazino take the orb? No. So that orb is controlled by them. Why are they not going for it? This is so weird. That would have right now the ultimate, but they're not going for it. Breach is going back to arcade for some reason, but look, see this shit? What? I don't get this. It's a free execute if they get that orb. What the hell? Why is it called arcade when it's actually called bench? No, bench is this. This is bench. This is arcade.
I don't feel like with this early round, with this kind of slow approach, KRU aren't necessarily figuring out the setup from Sentinels. It's almost like they're drifting back and forth.
I really dislike this. They had a position for KRU to had the breach ult and have an execute with the breach ult this round. Right here. Sick gets a kill on long because there's no utility being used. He just dry peeks. They have no control of a tower. Yeah. That is just dry peeking, man. That is just terrible. That is just... There's no plan here. There's... 2v4, why are you using the ultimate now? You have no spike. This is chaos. Look at the spike positioning. 2v4. And you sacrifice your best utility for an execute to have a very small odds. It's a 2v4. Like, that is not a good odds for winning, right? you have no spike. And you have no other pieces of utility. There are no flashes. Naxxat had 0. And he's not even half HP. He's not even like full HP. Like, what the hell is this, man? This is so badly played by KRU. It's actually nuts.
But still, Shaz keeps him safe. This is fantastic work. Lovely shot.
This
goes to Sentinels.
could have been played with an actual execute with the breach ultimate this round for free. For absolutely free. Instead, they played no util, dry peaks, 2 players from B long. And that's about it. And every single piece of utility that was being used was used on tower. Which was held by Dapper. Pretty actually well, I have to say. And then Shazam helped the tower with his own fault line. So that's
what stops Nags
yeah, dude.
a little deeper and committing to finding that opening engagement. But again, you come through there, then the aftershock comes.
See this shit? See, look at this. Why are we watching this? Why is this happening even?
Again, you come
A dry fight on Long B. It's like noon in a western town, and there are 2 fucking sheriffs in town, and they decide who stays.
Then the aftershock comes through.
And that was the spike player as well.
Sentinels can then pivot towards watching arcade and main and fully commit to holding both those angles, and they make the most of those 5 seconds. This is maybe the 3rd example now where we've seen that. Truly clean stuff, honestly.
They expect 2 on B side, so bridge ultimate to kill 2 first. I'm not sure I understand, my friend.
And I'm just loving the push and pull coming
Low
out.
buy.
It feels like you don't get a clean fight on any of them. There's always
Okay, so this is just nothing interesting.
Again, they get the wind in their sails. Are KRU going to be able to dig themselves out of a hole?
Timeout, okay.
Exposure factor, you know, these tilt buy rounds and these tilt those sorts of things.
Dapper's playing on site now. Different usage of utility, turret and Alamo board on site as well. Ten's playing operator. But again, we have a default setup. Just people just... Yeah, I really dislike the approach from KRU when it comes to attack. Like, it relies so much on winning a 50-50% gunfight while dry peeking, see? And again, they lost the Viper.
Huge first pick and Klaus gets sent
revealing area.
Found them.
Yo, Rocky2211. Thank you very much, my friend. Welcome back, Mr. Hamster. Wait, Rocky. Is this your first sub bought by yourself? Were you gifted for the first time? Or do I have just a bad memory, my friend? If this is your actual first bought sub, could you introduce yourself? That would be absolutely amazing.
Think so, yeah? That's awesome, Rocky. Thank you for joining the family, my friend. Like, for me, it's a big deal when someone buys a sub for the first time, because it means, like, it's a huge compliment for me. So I really want to, like, celebrate that moment, but I don't know anymore if someone is subbing for the first time, because there were so many gifted subs that someone can be a sub for many months already, but he never bought the sub for himself, and then he buys for himself first time, but it's, like, already, like, 4 months or something. Big fan from Saudi Arabia. Love your reviews. Thank you, Rocky. Welcome, my friend.
They don't get the full picture of what was around that corner either.
Well, again, it's all the control is lost, so they do relinquish some of that utility, some of that map control that...
Yeah, not a fan of KRU's approach to attack to this map.
Gained by...
Very, very left to chance. The entire thing that... What is tactical FPS what are about is... The utility that you have in the game is meant to be used to limit the odds of losing the round to chance, to randomness. That's why you have utility. But KRU right now plays like they have no utility, and they go for those random fights that you never know if you're gonna win or not. Hello, Spitter.
3 members of Sentinels now over towards A site. Just posted up now. A little deep.
It's very, like, let's say I had the same criticism, sorry, not the same, but very similar criticism to Vision Striker's approach on Icebox on attack. It was very awkward. Like, even though Vision Striker used more utility, they didn't, like, use the momentum that utility gives them So they essentially fell back onto the same outcome that KRU has, but KRU didn't use the utility in the first place.
This is kind of to stop exactly what we're probably going to see from KRU here.
Okay, so they do an actual execute. Let's see what is happening. So they don't have a Viper. So we need to use 4 stars by Delzik to have a full execute. They need a smoke here, a smoke here. Then we have fault line that goes like in front here. Naxit will dash, try to control site, right? Or no, sorry, the fault line will go here. So, but what's the plan after that? Let's see.
From Dapper's utility as well, so this is kind of to stop exactly.
It's still pretty risky. Look at it, like, I don't know.
What we're probably gonna...
The thing is, the breach is so far away, man. I don't like this. I really don't like how players are just playing, like when they don't play safe when it's needed, but when it's needed to be aggressive, they don't play aggressive. Right now, Naxit is alone, and those players should have been already very close to the site. Even though the Naxit has a dash, I am aware of that, guy, my friends. But there's a way of playing with your teammates to be very efficient on the movement, and right now this is not happening. So essentially, Naxit is alone on site, and now they have no way of entering. Yeah, dude.
Still holds. Dapper sends Naxit back, and it's going to be Mazzino and Delzik to try and do something with this, but it's looking rough around down and out.
But again, this is a round when they just play with a deficit from the first seconds of the round. It's like playing, you know what I'm saying always about Haven and I hate Haven and solo queue, right? And this is the same thing. You lose an attacker or a defender in the first 3 seconds, and you're like, well, I guess we lose this round unless a miracle happens. Will you review Extend versus Envy today? I don't know. We'll see how much time we have. For now, we're reviewing this.
And you can have Sick on the flank. They're already boxed in. They're already cornered in. You'd need someone like maybe Mazzino to do something about this. Just the tag for now. But there's the flank.
How then? Wait. There's no flank protection this round? Oh, it's a low buy, and Mazzino doesn't use a single trap. It's very smart by Sentinels to actually check for traps this round, because this is the round when you actually have a lot of space. It's crazy, man.
And says good night, KRU. Oh dearie me, it's not looking.
What is it? Where's the ultimate from Dapper? So he's using the ultimate. Kazan is still alive. He still has the aftershock, but they don't want to go to A anyway. So this ultimate is like kinda It kinda pushes. So this is what this ultimate does though. Is it feeds the player into sick. That's essentially what it does. People will either commit into this ult by using the aftershock to destroy it and then try to go on site, so sick has the flank, or the second outcome is the ult will just push people into sick, and if he gets 2, good outcome. If he gets 1, terrible outcome. If he gets 0, catastrophe, right? Because he has a gun, the opponents have low buy, and he has a flank. So this is a high risk, medium reward chance of like winning the round or not. Because if you go 0 for 1 and you lose the Phantom to the team, suddenly the attackers are 5v4 and they have a Phantom for free. Very winnable right now, right? If he goes 1 for 1, it's advantage towards attackers because they also get a Phantom and they have 4v4, which is beneficial, right? But if he goes 2 for 1, then it's then for his team it's 4 versus 3, and that Phantom doesn't really bother you that much if you lose it because you have man advantage. But he just gets that's already huge. This is like insane value. He can die now and it's okay.
Puts him to bed, tucks him in, and says good night, KRU.
I thought leg shot by AWP gives 120 damage, or is he 14 HP? Probably for a wall.
I think Mazzino's been here pretty much every single round, just trying to gather some information.
Do you already know the results of the game before we review them? Yeah, I know who won, but I don't really watch the maps. I just kind of like, you know, kind of, how do I explain that? I watch the maps by putting them on the screen, like in the living room as a background noise. That's actually, I just like to listen to casters while they cast. It's like a radio for me, you know?
And yes, it was up against, you know, odds and ends, but again, a confidence builder. And that's what some...
Full buy round for crew.
I've got to look at Sentinels.
This time they have the flank protection. Nagzet is already using the dash. Does he have enough time to not be affected by this?
You're gonna need. Same with crew.
Yeah, he's not affected, but he gained the space on sand. This is very quick. Sentinels need to rotate super fast now. And they do. Sick is again doing the flank. That is just Shazam buying time. I like this. So this is an ult that the only thing that it does, it gives you info if someone is close on sand, because you're gonna hear the blob. You're gonna hear the sound if someone is jumping down after the ult. So this gives you some information, but also it buys you time for the rotations to happen, because currently you're playing only 2 players on A, 1 and 2, right? And you need anything to stop the push for the rotations to go in. You gamble that they go on, like crew committed so much by using the dash into sands, right? That you have a tell. This is a tell. This is an A execute or a very massive fake. But you cannot really just read into that. So you need to go, yeah, this is an A execute. And this is why Shazam is using the ultimate here to just buy time. Very important. Very important for that, because now they're going to have enough time for the rotation to happen. Look. And he knows about this player, so he just peeks him because he knows he can. The thing is, if you want to guarantee a kill here, Shazam has 2 flashes. I would definitely use a flash over here, because when you stun someone with the ultimate, right? When you stun someone with the ultimate, he cannot move his crosshair as fast as normally. So you essentially have a guaranteed kill, because that guy was gonna get flash. But Shazam is actually affected by the, look at his health. He's 150, right? But when he goes through the DK, he's already 116. And now he's fighting against a player, right? That is stunned, but he can still lose this fight. Look, he's actually getting so much damage here. It's actually crazy, man. So this was actually like very risky from Shazam. But if he would have used 1 flash, that would be almost no risk. He was a 2 HP man. That was crazy, bro. He got such a massive pile of damage, but he gets that 1 kill. Now attackers are on a huge back foot. They don't have like that execute anymore. 2 players are coming from Dish. Those players are useless right now. So Zombs just need to buy time. He's gonna use his second molly, I guess. Not even that. What is his skin, by the way? This is a new battle pass? Yeah, dude.
Look at him.
Again, crew is just playing 2 players from Dish, which have no impact whatsoever. I don't understand this. They use a Viper and a Cypher from Dish when they know every single round it wasn't successful, and there's an orb on Dish.
Oh, it gives you chills. If this is what we're going to see throughout this game, it is only map 1. We'd have Haven and Split to follow if it gets that far, but...
He says you shouldn't flash for yourself on Breach and play like pedestrian with no abilities. This is his playstyle. And could have lost because of that. My perspective is different. Specifically, again, after an ultimate like that.
Fire in their belly, and this is the byproduct, right?
Like if Nagzet wins that fight against Shazam on Sands, that might actually be the round.
They're here to play today. They're not here to play mess around. Sorry.
No, there is 0.
Yeah, okay, that's lost.
It's gonna be 5, but
yeah, 6 actually gonna flash out of the conflict divide.
A small chance.
Wait, what? Okay, let's watch it.
True. However, down maybe 3 on the fight. You get the rest of them, but the old Cusley's claw 1 back. You can't get away from him. He's got the messing around from these boys.
10 HP on Nagzet.
Right, feels good.
Shazam gets the kill on Nagzed. Ultimate from Underpass, which I heavily dislike because no one has a follow-up after that. Delza kills Shazam. He's the only one affected by the ultimate. 2 players are rotating, so the other 2s are gonna wait for the retake. They get a... Okay. And now, how are they losing this retake? 4v4. They have no Shazam. They have no... They essentially have no utility. Sentinels have nothing, essentially, to play with. Zombs gets the kill on Klaus. Just randomly. What the fuck? How? How is he getting a kill on Klaus? Zombs from CT. What?
Picture. Spike going down, maybe 3 on the board. That could be recovery for KRU if the curse.
He just peeks. Klaus just peeks out of his ultimate, man. He just dies.
It's gonna be true, however.
Okay, but Mazino gets 10s.
Zom still finds Klaus. Dapper.
It's still like... What is...
You are lucky to be alive, but confidence
Okay.
building with Dapper as he tries to close the gap. 2 players now
Buys time. Now they have a crossfire. Now they have a decent crossfire.
Again, they've got a good opportunity.
But they're not ready for a flash. Sick is gonna flash for this wall.
You can really cross towards site. You see the ping coming through here.
Okay, they go in.
6 actually going to flash out of the conflict device.
What?
I drop it.
The timing!
Dapper will find a kill.
Oh my word! It's finally been held by KRU. That post-plant crossfire.
Just a very similar... Okay, so this is one in the same way that we have seen here. Very simple crossfire is being set up by KRU, and that's the reason they win. So 2 rounds, they won a very similar fashion in post-plant.
That moment. This is just a small chance, though.
But again, it's so frustrating to see in round 12 is the first time they get ahead of that rotation. They're not afraid to just push in, commit to it.
I think it would be nice if they buffed Omen's smoke to mute sound when in the smoke, both no sound in as well as out. I don't know. That sounds actually a little bit too powerful, to be honest.
I think that I want to start. They had their finger on the pulse.
So, Sentinels attack. 2 ghosts. 1 wait, what I'm talking about? Never mind. Shazam. It's the same. Okay, so 1 flash, ghost. Zombs and 10s are on ghost as well. Wait, what the fuck am I seeing, dude? Why is Klaus... Am I going mad? KRU's playing defense right now, right? KRU's playing defense. But somehow, KRU is playing an attack as wall. This is literally Fnatic's wall that we're using on attack, not on defense. What the fuck am I witnessing here at this level? Like, this deeply upsets me. This wall should be never used on defense. What the fuck? But, like, why? Why are you covering sight?
He's been omnipresent. Literally,
It's only
you cannot
game.
get away from that.
Why you
Man, now
have to be
the side
mad?
does switch though, so I want to see how KRU are able to achieve a similar look in my mind. Can they find a little bit of that themselves coming into this?
Look! Look at this shit.
What the fuck did I just witness?
You think the drama on Twitter affected Sentinel's performance? No, I don't think so. Look at this. Shazam is like, oh, thank you for the wall. No, that's not a retake wall. This wall is used by attackers. This is the best attacker wall you can do. I already explained it at the beginning of this VOD review. Why is this the best attacker wall?
Similar look for Sentinels, right? They had their finger on the pulse that entire first half, and if they can achieve the same in terms of rotation,
They literally gained 3 space because of this, and now KRU has to use a lot of. Like, look, Shazam is already on site. Sorry, Tans is already on site.
attack, then it's going to be very difficult for Crew to deal with. Mazzino actually.
Jesus.
Oh, Klaus! Out of nowhere finds 2 big kills. That's massive. Confidence now booming with Crew trying to take that fight through tower. It's not pretty as sick. We'll become the victor in that, and now tower's under Sentinel control. We're down to 4 still standing, make it 3. Shazam, as said, the inescapable force.
If they
right
fought
now
B
for
main, wouldn't that be
Sentinels.
okay? No.
3v3.
How would you fight B main with this wall? You can't peek. The only way you can peek is from here in front of the wall, so it's easy to pre-fire you. That's just it just shows that there's no understanding of why you use certain pieces of utility. It's the same thing that I had the criticism against Giants. I had the criticism against other teams that are copy shit from other teams without understanding why the other team does it. This is why Boaster and Fnatic are smart about the game. They use the piece of utility with intent. The same, I should say, in most cases about Vision Strikers. But this is like, I'm taking someone else's homework, but I don't understand the result.
A couple of open sight
Really upsets me.
Actually catches a headshot there, Shazam. Piling on the pressure here. 5 HP on Klaus, 13 on Kesnit. Delzik got to be the one
Look at
to
the HP, man.
swing this back in Crew's favor if possible.
Well, let's see what Delzik can do. Tower is his first port of call, but 6 noted it. 17 HP ain't much, though, and Flash ain't up for 10 seconds. Oh, it's a bit of a messy one, but it does work out.
Oh! Turret teaming, getting a kill. The fuck?
But that's what we were worried about. Oh, Tommy the turret's done enough to take down Klaus, leaving
No, actually, Tommy the turret, sorry.
Delzik.
Okay, 6 HP. I don't think he wins this, right? Against Dapper with... Oh, was
Yeah, the
close.
tag got close, but Dapper beats him across the line. So 10 rounds sitting with Sentinels. That was a pretty fired up round, though, from Crew. That was not as clean as maybe Sentinels would have wanted.
No, and again, I think made a comparison with Sentinels wanting to go toe-to-toe and kind of stop access towards site. You could say Klaus doing fantastically well to find the first 2 kills in that round.
Wait, 1 second. Why is it called Tommy? Because turret starts with a team.
Like I said, so present in this. Actually, after the first headshot from that exact same angle, is how he finds it. Tommy, the MVP.
He's got his own frag movie. Look at him. Go on, Tommy. Well, here are those double digits, which does... it bears a heavy burden for Crew now. Staring at that, it's got to happen now. Look at the buy coming in.
I was going to say, no surprise really going to see the purchase or the investment here to try and keep Sentinels from building up a round in hand, so to say. Sends back on that Guardian. Klaus holding pretty close contact here and spot him out. No swing on the back of it just yet. See Dapper on the X-ray making his way through underpass as well, but no push out through Arcade from Crew.
Could you use the same wall to cover Arcade as long as you don't use it as a cover site? Yes, that's like... Guys, holy shit, I'm gonna explain it again. I already explained it, like when I was doing the Vision Strikers Fnatic review. But this just shows me that Klaus has no idea what he's doing with this wall. This just shows me that there's lack of understanding of utility. Fracture. Look, what he's using right now, he's using this, right? He might cover a little bit like this, so at least no one can sneak into, like, side without knowing, without Arcade knowing. But this is the wall that Fnatic is using, right? And why is Fnatic using this? Fnatic is using this so they have AWP control. They can sneak into the side, sorry, into Arcade without anyone from side seeing them. They can sneak into this area of Arcade without with a tower seeing them, and they cover site this area so people from Long B don't have to fight this area, and they have less angles to play against, right? This is why Fnatic does it. And if you want a defender's wall, then you can use just straight up something like this. Like here, an example that at least makes the tower control arcade, and no one can sneak into here without showing to arcade like, oh, this is our intention here. You can use like stuff even like, you know, just like this, just to cover long. There's like so many options, but just don't do this. Just don't do this. This is terrible. Like it's, I don't know, man. This is like free real estate for Sentinels, man.
Play out some of this toxin here. Maybe wait for an opening to exploit.
50 seconds still to play with. Not a massive hurry yet.
Oh, and by the way, this force from KRU makes sense. They cannot allow Sentinels to go into 11. Like, it's so close to losing the game at that point.
Don't love to do, but you know, is what it is. 10 starting to open an account of interest though. Have a little look around, see if you can spot.
Hey, Lemon, by the way.
But not providing much here.
Again, clockwise, this is going to be really awkward because the poison orb and the wall both gone up there, and I'm pretty sure Klaus wasn't full toxin.
Oof. Okay, they know where Klaus is.
That's it. Shazam just walks
It's a
up.
dry hit.
But dry peeking, man? I don't get it.
And the wall both gone up there, and I'm pretty sure Klaus wasn't full toxin.
Interesting. Just
That's it. Shazam
dry
just
peeking.
walks
It's a
up.
dry
Okay.
hit.
Yeah.
That's pretty dangerous. Klaus is going to be good for at least 2 here, maybe a 3rd. It's good for Klaus.
They peek one by one, man. They know the position of the player, and they dry peek him one by one. Like, that is very uncharacteristic of Sentinels. Like, you would never expect a team of this level to do this.
That's it. Shazam just walks
It's a
up.
dry hit.
Yeah.
That's pretty dangerous. Klaus is going to be good for at least 2 here, maybe a 3rd. It's good for Klaus.
The biggest problem here is that Shazam went first, even though he has the biggest amount of utility.
Did I just witness?
You know?
Danger around him. Mazzino's kept it in check. Finds Dapper, and it's, I dare say, just 10s. But it is just 10s alive. 4 stamp.
Was Klaus gonna be dead against Shaz if he wasn't crouching? Doesn't matter. It's just that Shazam should never walk in and face check it, you know?
I'm talking, I'm
Like,
looking at the minimap.
your opponents... Look, if your opponents are forcing, they don't have the utility that typically you should have. But the players who win the round, they have both utility and weapons and shields. So Shazam played like he doesn't have utility when he is the key piece. Like, Breach on this map is the reason why your attacks are successful. A good Breach makes such a big difference, is absolutely insane. And he just walks in without anything being used from not his fault line, not an aftershock, not a flash.
Even Klaus was kind of looking to that right side, expecting that next layer. Where's that next piece of this hit coming from? No? Okay, there.
2 flash players dry peeking. I mean, Sky didn't have a flash, but Breach had full util.
Stepping through 1 by 1. All right, I'll take that. No worries. And this will at least deny the money.
This is kind of like they were just so confident that they stopped caring, I guess, in that round, and they paid the price for that.
There's always.
We did round it to 3 and up, but this should be clean.
So here,
The same standard for both teams.
we have seen the classic gravity well fault line, which makes 10s stay in place, essentially.
But this should be clean. We hold the same standard for both teams. If you have that better purchase, even though there's no armor or anything.
Think sick flash behind Zom's wall there. Yeah, but he didn't flash for them. When he peeked, he had no flashes. That's the point. So I don't mind the peek from Sick, but Dapper needed to be behind him to double peek and not just like go 1-for-1.
Actually going to creep back through. Nags on a little closer contact here. 6 box here. Considers this.
Hard that is now to maintain because we know there's pop-off potential. We'll have to see if.
Okay. Controlling dish from defenders. Attack is 2-0-3-0 split. No flank protection at all. So KRU, if they want to punish Sentinels, they need to be very aggressive on defense and gain aggressively space, because there's no like flank protection from one side. There's only a turret covering one side. That's about it. Once you get the info where that is, yeah.
But look at the aggression and the pace from this one. Dapper now knows he's got problems on both.
But look at B. Look at B. Look how how aggressive those two players are just because this wall is up here. It gives so much confidence that those people will just be up here because they know that no one from side can see them. Look at this shit.
Zeke's come out and Klaus is going to push himself forward. He's got two on the other side, gets one, sprays in for the second, has to switch out to the classic, no one there. But panic from Sick, he keeps his cool because Shazam has got his back. Klaus goes down.
But I really like the aggression from Crew in this round. I really like it. That's another upside of using a Cypher instead of a Killjoy. You can cover both sides of the map.
Shazam going to find another kill here onto Kesnet.
He's bailing them out. Shazam is literally bailing them out right now. These are two huge, impactful kills that he's found at this point, and he's keeping the entire back line pretty much in check. Zeno's done well to find 10s, but there we go, finally the breakthrough. That's Shazam now down.
Okay, well, that's a big problem. That's an overpeak.
It's a 2v2, but look at
Imagine if Shazam just stays alive in that pass and buys so much time. If they lose this, this is why. Yeah, dude. Like, Shazam was known for such a long time. I don't know how to make this decision. I don't know. He was worried about being pushed, I guess, so didn't expect being held that long. I don't know.
Yes. Obviously 13-1400, I think so.
Four people going A main. Tens just gets nagged. Like, what the fuck?
Below 13-1400, I think so.
They do a delayed shift push because of the utility being used. Wide swing from tens. Nags no.
Okay, well.
Ferrari swinging hard from tens there, just destroying Nags. That's a rifle loss, I'm pretty sure. So
the thing is, Crew should be making sure that no one is pushing for that weapon. So we need to see Kesnet be aggressive here. He needs to flash, he needs to go close, help Delzik. Delzik is committing, man. This doesn't look good. Is he flashing for him? He just dry peeks. What the fuck am I watching, man?
Oh, Delzik, that's a little sloppy. They've just fed two players to this. All under the notion of trying to get that rifle back. Under grabs now down to the 3, but now they know there's a purchase behind the Shaz.
Breach could have just... Whatever, man.
Where it falls apart, can Mazzino do something? Anything will do. 2 ain't bad, but now Klaus, a 1v3 beckoning. He was good before, he needs to do more now. Finds the first victim. No, Shazam stops it in its tracks. Don't swing out.
As then bad to work.
Degree of Sentinels. These guys, if you give them a chance, they will absolutely rip it away from you. However, Crew aren't done yet. They still have a purchase here, but it does put Sentinels back at level. I guess I don't know, man. Here, looking at the purchase coming through, it's pretty decent.
Just people dry peeking like assholes. At least get some Vaseline, dude. What?
Wasn't shown towards Dish initially.
Pens just dropped down into Viper's molly.
Dapper and Sick once again, and Klaus actually on the other end of things will catch 10s. Again swinging out. Yeah. About time.
He didn't even have time to press the dash button because he was debuffed. Two body shots, he's dead.
Set up as well
to because the thing what happened here is he gets 140 damage with 2 body shots because each body shot deals 70 damage at that range. So essentially he's at 10 HP and that snakebite just deals 10 damage. Shazam with the ult. It's kind of desperate because they don't have 10s anymore, and now the counter ult from Kesnet, which is a good play. I like this. I like this. He's buying time, but he flashed Mazzino? No, that was a flash from Shazam. No, wait, that was a flash from Sick. What I'm talking about. But it's separated. This is well played by Crew. Look, ult here from Shazam, ult here by Kesnet, right? So then those 2 players from Dish are separated from the push from here. So they essentially, those players can focus on Dish instead of focusing on A main, which is a huge deal. And now those players from Dish are like, kind of like fucked because of that, you know? I really like this.
Where's that pressure now coming from? The spike's yet to fully... It's coming this way, but it's yet to fully commit. And look at those back lines being watched here. Nagzet's got them dead to rights if they try and fall away from this.
Absolutely is, and the neural theft will confirm it as well. Nags pushing up a little closer.
Oh!
Though that's not what you want to see.
He's got to back away. He has to try and keep
He
and
can't
play
die.
his
Oh,
life. He has to
no.
play his life. He's found a new angle.
Why is he taking this angle? He has no dash anymore. Why is he taking this angle, man? Just run. Oh my, I don't want to press play, man. I already know what's gonna happen. I already know what's gonna happen. Even if he kills one, he dies anyway. And this is not good. If he whiffs, he loses the round. Why are you not running sight? You have an operator, just play from sight, man. You have cypher traps as well. Like,
Falling back to the next spot. Now he's just going to stand in. Oh, these are horrible misses. Shazam wants to punish this, and they can't land a shot. Shazam has opened this back.
yeah.
Now, where do they hit these rotations? Dapper with the punish towards A. They can swing back around if they want to, but that op just ain't hitting anything.
And they have control of A side now.
Kesnet deal with one side of the problem, but the site is
They go
now
back
open.
where the Viper utility is.
Stop here. He has to hit that site.
As well.
Dude, Klaus uses some really horrible walls.
Right. Can he be denied?
I just wanted to point out something. Look. You seen this? There's an overlap in the attackers and defenders' walls. That should never be a thing.
Can he be stopped 5 seconds? He should be able to cross fine. Kesnet wants to try and do
That's
something.
huge.
He gets Dapper. And now where it's always Popsio. What can you do in this 1v2? Doing everything he
Oh,
can.
yeah. Didn't have enough time.
And KRU fight their way back.
By the skin round.
It's just a random round.
Gotta look towards
Silly mistakes by both teams.
to really fire this one up. We need a little more than that.
I mean, dare I say, this is jet diff, right?
Yes.
Again, if you had Nax, even just trading in terms of numbers here, KRU would have a much better time.
Yeah, good luck dueling tens with fucking knives, man. Every single peek he's doing, he's in the most unpredictable space. Like, maybe he gets body shots, but then he just taps you because he has no recoil, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, if you could just go even
It's crazy how much it enables a great aimer like tens.
with tens.
Like, you'll just pay attention. Pay attention to how he peeks. You see this shit? You can still kill people while doing this. Look, pay attention.
KRU would have a much better time.
You see those jumps, right?
So I just heard that back to myself. Yeah, if you could just go.
This is like min-maxing what are you being given. It's like people with SMGs doing wide peaks and never stopping running. This is how you play with an SMG, and this is how you play with the ultimate from Jet. You take the advantages of what the piece of utility or hardware gives you, and you try to min-max it to the full extent.
Even with tens. Not asking too much, right?
Just keep up. Flash goes in. When's the burst potential? Klaus has been here before, but it's Delta.
Excuse me? How's he not flashed?
Flash goes in. When's
He turned away,
the burst?
and then they are not... Then they just... Zoms just goes in without checking right corner? Okay.
Potential. Klaus has been here before, but it's Deltic this time to find Zoms. Klaus unable to find it. The timing not favorable to him, but Deltic's still alive. Finally taken down. The Sentinels should be able to take the site, but Kesnet now has the body in the right place. He predicts a swing, but Dapper outdoes him. We're down to a
2-on-2 though.
Back and forth trades.
And Naxxet is never hitting this shot, right?
Yeah, the plant going to be coming in, and I don't think that can be contested right now.
Dapper will hold on
So
to
he
the
knows
shot.
about one player on dish. What the fuck? Did he move? He moved, right? Yeah. He never has the dot. He starts shooting before he can shoot. Look. No wonder he misses. Crosser is on point. But he just shoots without being ready. Shock dirt.
Damn. called upon here. Another miss from Nags.
Yeah.
Dapper over the top.
Dignati with the first gifted sub. Thank you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, my bro.
Shazam, they had him dead to rights there. I think actually even Delzik was it.
Hello, Kasper.
That swung out there. He takes full contact from Shazam, and Nags still misses that one. That's tough. KRU gonna pump the brakes now, try and call a timeout, gather their thoughts, but that's a tilter. I mean, 2 back-to-back tilting rounds for Nags in particular. See really what the response is.
Brr, 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 brr.
They've been getting close, but some of those individuals just
Spectre, Bulldog, 3 Phantoms.
which is what you always expect.
Not looking good for KRU.
Nags, man.
It's just one of those
My
days.
heart
Did he miss again?
To them, but I want to see this gap get smaller. A quick peek over the top.
I mean, this is a hard shot to hit, even though he has no recoil. But pretty cool move.
Pretty favorable to them. But I want to see this
Pretty fucking cool move, man. But it's like
peek over.
it's like this is just unlucky. I mean, a little bit over the head, right? This is why I prefer to have a dot crosser. Because with a dot crosser, you know exactly where you're pointing at. With this crosser, like feeling that you're on the target, but you're not really on the target. It's good for like closer ranges, but for long ranges, dots are just so much more useful. He gets 2 taps. Oh, 1 dagger here hits this. See this? This is on point. This should be killing him. Oh, that's funny. Look. This dagger should be killing Tens because he's at 50 HP and it's on point. It's literally on point. But he hits this wall because the line of sight. So he's like, well, that's unlucky.
Oh, we have no idea.
Nags, man.
So he literally had his crosser in for the last dagger, he literally had his crosser in the correct place. And he should be killing Tens, but he was already dropping below the level where he has line of sight.
It's just one of those
My
days.
heart breaks.
It's just one of those days for him. See if he can keep his head up. Because that was an opportunity.
Other crosser settings, tap an exclamation mark crosser.
But couldn't quite connect as much as he wanted.
I wanted to connect with that out of all the
Fractures
shots
more
in the last
defender
few
sided or
rounds.
attacker sided? Attacker sided.
Unfortunately, nothing to do.
Man.
Sentinels now.
Alright, guys. If I'll see KRU play Fracture again, right? And I'll see Klaus use this defender's wall again, I'm gonna fucking flip. So if there's someone here from like KRU's, let's say bodyguards, right? That you have contact with the players, just tell Klaus to not use this fucking wall on defense.
Again, with the amount of pressure they've been able to put on, a very slow approach to this round. They know that this swings in their favor and allow the paranoia to build here. Effectively, though, this is the heavier side of KRU's.
This is the 3rd time or 4th time Klaus is playing in the exact same spot, by the way.
Defensive setup right now. 3 members committed, and actually the flank coming through from there. So
the timing, man.
In the mix as well, Lauren.
But there's that flash, and here comes the push. Klaus has been pretty good at dealing
Oh,
with
he's
this, but
being
already
pushed away.
Nags again gets punished. He's having a
Nagzit. Did Nagzit just push? Oh, with a bulldog. Okay.
In the mix as well, Lauren.
But there's that flash, and here comes the push. Klaus has been pretty good at dealing with this.
My
but
first
already
on
Nags
sub
has
here.
it again.
You didn't share it. Do Ctrl F5 so you can like you have the pop up to share.
Gets punished, he's having a nightmare, and it's rare to be able to see it so clearly. Mazzino succeeds towards the tower side of things, but now look at the hit coming in, the rotation gets called. Sentinel's just going to head right back over towards A, but wait, Klaus is here, it looks like Delzic's here as well. They've got bodies on the side, but can they get to safety in time? Just about, it ain't perfect. Divide, it's a desperation call. Sick finds Kesnit, and the push, they're desperate to hold on to it, but it's falling through their fingers as Klaus blinded. Does not matter, Sentinels 13-7 on map 1.